How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. I'm here with my fiance,
Thermites.
This is, of course, as always, a Black Lives Matter. All cops are bastards and trans rights supporting the channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. This is What If, the finale, whatever number that is at this point. First, any guesses as to what this one is titled?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're not going to get the intro. Like, it's going to be the Watcher and evil Doctor Strange talking.
Oh, yeah.
Because usually, like, he is talking to us. He is saying, like, blah, 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 blah. You know, let's ponder the question, what if? I feel like we're going to have a cold open, and he looks at, like, Evil Strange says, like, we're fucked, we're screwed, there's no way, we cannot survive. And then, Ultron will win. And then the Watcher will look at him, but, you know, like, we'll be in his perspective, and then the Watcher will look down at us and also Strange and says, but let us ponder the question, what if we win?
Well, what if we win? Like, it could be like, what if the finale? Like, we had what if zombies, which was not really a what if.
Not really a question.
No. But what if the finale makes even less sense than what if zombies?
Yeah.
What if zombies is a little bit just like, what if zombies? But yeah, so I might just say it's going to be the finale.
Okay.
But, because and you've convinced me, like, they're not going to have a, like, what if at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they save it for the end.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna...
What if the Watcher broke his oath?
Ooh.
What if the Watcher broke his oath? Because that is what we built up at the end of last episode.
Last episode, he does not break his oath. He only fights when he's being physically attacked. But this will be the big, like, I need to interfere, actually.
And we could get the opening again with him saying, like, what if I interfered?
Oh!
Yeah, so that's my guess. What if the Watcher broke his oath?
Oh. I'm gonna leave it as, like, he is saying it to Evil Strange. He says, what if we win?
Okay.
Or what if we beat Ultron?
I know that's not clickbaity enough.
By the way, of course, Ultron is right over there in the background.
Oh, yeah. Are you pointing in the right direction?
Oh, yeah, right there.
Right there.
Exactly there.
Right there.
There.
He looks like he's just a part of the Legendary box.
He does.
Which, man, maybe we should do a video on that. Like,
and
if you guys haven't, Marvel's Legendary, the board game, incredible.
Very fun.
I got like 2 boxes and then 2 expansions back there. It's so good.
Yeah.
But that's not what this video is about.
It's about
but also, if I am correct, that would lead into also each of these videos being their own what if, even if it is a continuation. You know?
Yeah, because this is definitely going to be, like, wrapping it up, like I had the previous one. But also, I do like the idea of them each being an individual what if.
And I was really struggling with, like, what is the individualness of this one? Like, what is the what if scenario?
Yeah.
So I'm confident.
Okay.
You're saying what if we win?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Literally, word for word, what if the Watcher broke his oath? Nailed it. How did I get this one, but not what if the Ultron won?
You were close with what if Ultron won.
I mean, no, it's like, what if Ultron had all the rings, or not the rings, the stones. But anyway, if you want to get the full lines, check out the Patreon below for $4 a month. If you want to get early access, check out the Patreon below for $4 a month. Again, that's early access to, let's see, Eternals and some of Hawkeye at this point, probably.
Yeah.
I think. So go check that out. Let's get into this. Okay, that was all of What If.
That's what if.
What if the Watcher broke his oath? I was like, you know, as it started, I was like, oh, I wonder if we're going to get, like, some references to the other universes and stuff like that.
I was not expecting it to be the big crossover.
Yeah, was not expecting that at all. And even then I was like, oh, I can't believe we didn't get the zombies in this. Here's all the zombies, here's that Natasha, here's the world. Like, we eventually got all of it. Like, we even eventually get the world where the Avengers died. We got our own little what if thing with Gamora.
Yeah, and, like, Sakaar and Iron Man, it seems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, just, that has its own... Maybe we should dive into that first.
Yeah, because that's the most, like, fully unique thing.
Yeah.
Like, everything else is dependent on everything else.
let me go back to that because I want to rewatch that scene to fully get what's going on there. Yeah, don't really learn anything like specific about that world. Like, I think the survivor of Sakaar is interesting.
Yeah, because this doesn't like that implies to me this was not what if Gamora killed Thanos, but rather like what if she ended up on Sakaar for some reason.
Yeah, and like did Iron Man ended up on Sakaar? And how did this happen? How did any of that shit happen?
Yeah, like this is a Tony that seems to have stopped being an arms dealer. So like Iron Man at least happens.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, for a second I was like, oh, is this like when, Tony was on the ship in Endgame? But that was a Nebula, not Gamora.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know how that could have happened.
Yeah. That feels so specific, and she is so, like, she's very important because she's got the Infinity Crusher and all that.
Yeah.
And they don't, like, bring it up. Like, they don't put more attention on her as if she's new. So I really wonder, like, were they going to do an episode with her, and then they just didn't do it? But they still, like, kept her in the finale?
Maybe. Like, yeah, they just didn't have time to animate that as well. Maybe, but I don't know.
It could just be a thing that they decided
to do. Yeah, it could just be, like, a new thing they wanted to do. But, yeah, because... Yeah, I don't know what that what if would have been called or like. Yeah, but that to be fair, if they did have something planned for that, would also explain why we didn't see Gamora in the Party Thor Star-Lord universe,
right?
Which I really think is the same universe.
I could see that for sure.
I mean, maybe not because to be fair, we do see Ego taking over Earth, and then we also see Ultron taking over the Earth. So those are probably two separate timelines, but just those timelines seem very close.
Yeah,
but probably not the same timeline.
I'm guessing not.
It's just interesting how much stuff from both those timelines is extremely similar.
Yeah.
And there's the pink-haired girl we see in both those timelines. Yeah, it's just that's interesting. But oh yeah, we did see Ultron appearing at the end. I was like, why would when did we see Ultron taking over that world? We forgot the end of the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, liked getting the Gamora here. Not sure what to say about it specifically. The Iron Man, the Scar Iron Man, cool design. Yeah, Gamora has a cool design, having Thanos as a weapon.
Yeah, one of my biggest complaints about the MCU for ages has been, like, the fact that the Guardians aren't that important in the whole Thanos plotline. Like, they are, but they're not really, compared to anyone else. Whereas it feels like, that should have been their main plot.
They're important in the sense that their leader caused all the bad shit to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would have loved if we get season 2, I would love to see one that is either this what if or a similar, what if the Guardians beat Thanos?
I mean, we do already have that.
Did we?
That was the Star-Lord one.
Fair. I guess I mean the MCU Guardians.
Sure. I don't think that's possible. In what universe would that happen? They're so... them.
They're very them.
They are the most incompetent. I mean, not the most incompetent, but they are up there.
Yeah.
They are pretty bad at working together and doing anything substantial.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's the same problem I have with a lot of Spider-Man MCU stuff of, I want some more classic Spider-Man stuff, but also this Spider-Man can't do that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's really what we're establishing here of in some of these other universes, these characters just would have been better at I feel like a lot of what if stuff shies away from that. Like if you did a what if somebody else got bitten by the radioactive spider, I imagine you would want to do they're not going to be as good as Peter. Like they might be stronger maybe, but they're not they don't have that Spider-Man qualities to them.
Yeah.
Versus this is if Captain Carter was the Captain America. It would be fine and better. Maybe not fully better, but not on the same level of if T'Challa was Star-Lord, the entire universe would just be much better.
That is the one that is objectively better. Whereas with Captain Carter, it's more like what a lot of what ifs are, which is some things are bad, some things are better. It's more or less the same. Yeah. The universe balances itself out.
The Thor one as well, I would say, is just straight up this is better. But that's not this person would be better at Thor. That's this. Thor without it's more if Odin didn't do the fucked up shit that he did,
the universe would have been better off.
Yeah, you can trace back a lot of the universe's awfulness to Odin and Peter Quill.
Oh no,
those two. But I mean, also, like, evil Doctor Strange being infinitely cooler and better at his job than Doctor Strange.
I mean, that one's the big trade-off of, we did lose an entire universe to that.
Yeah.
In order to get someone who's capable of saving the multiverse, we had to annihilate an entire universe.
Yeah, like, that is more what I was talking about, like, this person is stronger than the original Doctor Strange, but is not necessarily a better Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But is better in the sense of stronger, more capable of magic.
Yeah.
And also has had much longer infinity time to do that, though.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and I know that is the excuse, but at the same time, to be fair, in the endgame fight, like, there's a few moments that stick out as being, like, really awesome moments, but a lot of those are very, like, character moments, like Cap picking up the hammer is a very, like, big character moment, or just, like, the characters appearing and stuff like that is a big triumphant moment. But as far as, like, actual fighting stuff goes, there is not a lot that has stuck with me, aside from the giant water cyclones that the sorcerers do, which I don't even think was Doctor Strange doing that.
No, that was just the sorcerers.
That was just the sorcerers doing that. But, like, that's the number one thing. When I think of Endgame, that's the thing I think of, is those, like, giant things. So that was the one thing that was like, that's fucking dope. That doesn't just look like somebody shooting somebody.
Yeah. Like, a lot of what I wanted in Endgame is, well, we got an Infinity War, actually. Like, the fight with Thanos, on Titan with everyone there, like, that's the closest to something like this episode, where it is like a bunch of different characters, all with really weird different fighting styles, working together, trying to do like combo moves, like Spidey going through the portals.
Yeah, that is the Endgame fight to me. Like, that is like that, and the like Wakanda, all the like all that shit. Like, they really dropped the ball at Endgame, I feel like, of like living up to those moments.
Yeah,
like, it's so the awesome thing about Endgame is all the characters being there and fighting together.
Yeah.
But it looks like a mess.
Yeah, it's way more of a, like, we did this spectacle, whereas Infinity War is more of the actual crossover spectacle. They're like, what if there was a bad guy so bad that he fought everyone?
Yeah. Like, I would much prefer, the small individual moments, like we see everything happening at once, which I think is a negative. But it's also, I could see how that could be a positive for some people, of like, well, it's cooler to see it all happening at once, rather than like cutting between the characters doing individual things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I personally want to see the characters individually doing individual things. But that's just me. But either way, this fight with Ultron truly felt like what I would have wanted out of Endgame. It's like everybody doing their max moves and doing combos that are so broken, but can only be done because everybody's together right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is the problem with the Endgame fight, is that it is too big in the sense that we need armies in order to do it.
Yeah.
But because there are armies, it devolves into, like, the individual characters we like are just kind of they're doing like Dynasty Warrior stuff to fight a bunch of guys in an army. Whereas, like, the Infinity War, like, the Thanos Infinity War fight is a hard, like, seeing individual people. Like, even the fight in Wakanda, I really like it. But a lot of the background noise of that is army fighting army. And then the things I remember about it are, like, the Black Order individually fighting people.
Even the army fighting army stuff is better just because the lighting is better in Infinity War. And, like, it's during the day as opposed to, like, during night, during a huge, like, crash site, and all of Thanos' army is all, like, black and gray. All of our army is gray, and, like, there's nothing colorful going on. So, like, that's also a bit of a detriment.
That's fair.
But yeah. Like, honestly, that might be it. Like, the in-game fight might be 1,000 times better if just the lighting was better.
Yeah, because that's also something we've praised What If for a lot, like, because it's animated.
What If and all the TV shows in general.
Yeah.
Because, like, and to be fair, we never really talked about Black Widow having great lighting, or, like, Shang-Chi having good lighting, and when I think about them in my mind, I can't picture specific things.
Yeah, like, TV shows specifically have had pretty strong lighting.
But the movies still not particularly. So that's interesting to note.
Yeah,
because I feel like I'm surprised. Like, I just realized, like, oh yeah, I don't think we mentioned the lighting in Black Widow or Shang-Chi at all, because it didn't stand out. It was just like, yeah. I don't think it was necessarily bad, but it didn't stand out.
Yeah.
But anyway, this fight.
Very baller. Very cool.
Truly the definition of the word epic with a capital E.
Yeah.
What was your, like, favorite move from the final fight? Because I think mine was definitely like the making a fuckload of Mjolnirs.
Oh yeah, that was definitely the most bombastic moment in the entire fight.
I mean, the jumping the fucking motorcycle off the roof and sniping and having Captain Carter hold the head in the position that it needed to be.
Yeah, or Captain Carter using a single Mjolnir to like return. Yeah. Very cool. I was so enraptured with, like, seeing the, like, I keep on calling it the true form of Evil Strange.
Yeah.
Like, whenever we see the flashes, or, like, near the end, it was just straight up, he was like that the entire time, where, like, he is just an amalgamation of all the monsters he's eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Just such a cool look.
Absolutely.
And it is that, it's that Kamen Rider to me sense of, like, you know, the evil, you know, someone born of evil doing something extremely good. Mm-hmm. It is the, like, the more monstrous you look, you know, the better thing you're doing. The fact that you are the reason why this is all working makes you seem even more noble.
Yeah.
Because there's no pretension of you trying to look like a noble person. You look like a monster, but you are still helping everyone.
Mm-hmm. It's also worth noting that when he became evil, he got a sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
That's something that, like, is, like, I say that's one of the hard characterizations of Doctor Strange. Like, he tries to make jokes, but it never, like, lands.
Yeah.
But, like, this was like, oh yeah, he like, learned a sense of humor through being evil. After 1,000 years or so, he learned how to be funny.
It's one of those great cosmic trade-offs, I guess. Like, the more good Stephen Strange is, the less funny he is.
He also, like, the speech he was giving was pretty good too. Like, he just felt way more like what I would expect out of a, you know, occult strange character.
Yeah.
But I think you put it best. There's really nothing that strange about Doctor Strange in the MCU.
Yeah. And I do think this is, like, Evil Strange is such a beautiful tragedy in the sense that, like, none of this would have happened without him. The multiverse would have just been all Ultrons, or, you know, like, an infinite state of, as infinite universes are being created, they're being infinitely taken over by Ultron.
Yeah.
Basically forever, if that single Stephen Strange hadn't lost his heart instead of his hands.
I still think it should have been his mind, but...
Because, this also, to be fair, this does prove that he has a heart.
Yeah.
Like, he got it back. If he did lose it at some point, he did get it back.
He found it. It was just in the shock drawer. But yeah, every character was... Also, speaking of fucking moves, Gamora doing the giant slash down Ultron was probably the best looking thing in all of What If for me. It was such a small, tiny thing, but the lighting, the framing, everything, it looked... Like, I was in the middle of speaking, I had to stop and just like, oh, that looks so cool, and then go back to what I was saying. It just looked unbelievable. I mean, again, this episode was like 5 times better looking than everything else in What If, and What If has already been so insanely good looking.
Yeah. Like, even, like, you know, the protection spells, I imagine, would not look good in live action because I think they would have oversaturated them.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be able to see who the fuck is underneath them. Whereas this is that perfect mix of, like, the runes are all visible. If you stop on a frame, you can, like, read all of them. You can see where they're all placed, but also does not affect the characters at all, and the characters still look good through the lighting.
Yeah.
Like, it's so well done. So much about What If, like, all together. They have nailed, the composition, the animation, and the lighting. Just everything looks so damn good in it.
It seriously does. The color especially is, so, like, the color and the lighting is just, like the way the light bounces off everything is perfect.
Yeah.
There's so many times where it's just like, I can't believe this is animation. It looks so good. Like, not even like, oh, this looks like live action, but just like, it just looks like a painting that is moving. Like, I don't know how they managed to pull this off. Because going into this, I was trying to be a little bit nice. Like, I was like, let's see what the animation looks like. And in my mind, I'm like, they're probably going to use so much CG, and this is going to look a little bit, like, stinky, and we're going to be, like, ragging on it for the whole thing. I'm blown away by how incredible this looks. I have not seen, like, something that looks this good in a long time, since, like, anime.
Yeah, I mean, this might be one of the best Western animated things I've ever seen.
Truly. And I was not expecting it, because they didn't have to go this hard.
No.
They don't go this hard for the movies, but they went this hard for this. They don't have to go as hard as they do for the TV shows, because they don't do for the movies, but they do anyway. It's blowing my mind that they're making the TV shows as, like, so much better looking and aesthetic than the movies have been, or any of the other TV shows have been.
Yeah.
Like, why? What's the change? Like, Disney Plus is, I guess, the big reason why.
Yeah.
Like, we really want people to get Disney Plus, so it's like, I'm also just you gotta hook them.
Yeah, and I feel part of that's probably just like the people working on it.
Yeah,
that's
true.
The movies have a lot of the same people working on them, and I feel like what we think of as being bad lighting, whatnot, isn't like it is just the person who does the lighting, or the people who are in charge of going over the dailies. Like, they have an aesthetic that they like. They are the ones who are like, yeah, that's the way good lighting looks. And the TV shows are just like far away enough from all of that stuff that they just have different people who have different aesthetics.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of the TV shows seem like they're actually filmed on location rather than filmed like at a soundstage.
Yeah, like 90% green screen.
Yeah. Like
even WandaVision, which like the first episode's like all soundstage, still very little like obvious green screening.
Yeah, and it's black and white, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, what's the color like in this?
Yeah.
And, stuff like that. But also, I feel like a lot of the lighting might not even be like, we're doing the lighting like this as we're shooting it, but like ADRing just a filter, not ADRing, but like putting a filter over it in post. Like, a lot of like, I mean, that's just most movies in general are just like you put a filter over it in post. I mean, half the fucking video games like that. Whenever I play a video game nowadays, I feel like I have to go out of my way to find the mod that removes the filter on the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so fucking annoying, but that's just every video game. I mean, even some of my most favorite video games I have to do that for.
I mean, we were just watching this is such a weird tangent, but some behind the scenes stuff for It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when I first noticed they put a shaky cam filter over the whole show.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I complained about in the Netflix MCU stuff. Like, I hate the shaky cam in the Netflix info. But yeah, it's like, it's something they put in post. It's not even how it's filmed. They put in the shaky cam in post. Why? It's terrible.
Like, yeah, I feel like so much of this comes down to the same few people going, this is what good is. And what they just have shit taste.
Yeah. But yeah, whoever the big I don't know if this was one person, with all this, which is why it's kind of consistent, or if there's different people doing every episode, but like, whoever was doing this shit, incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say What If is my favorite season though, or series or whatever. I still think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is number one, but I think this looks the best.
Alright.
Like, out of everything in the MCU, I think What If looks the best. And it probably has the highest chance of me rewatching it, because it's short, it's like 30 minutes, it's short. And
you can choose whichever ones you want as well.
You don't have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, like, What If I think is my favorite right now, and part of that's recency bias, but part of that is also, like, it is the thing I've wanted for the MCU forever, which is, like, it isn't quite the stuff in between, but it is genuinely the, like, if this had changed, this would happen, and here's just a whole look at different stuff you didn't quite get a good look at originally.
And it's also the struggle, like, what do I mean when I say favorite? Like, what does anybody mean when they say favorite? Like, am I saying favorite because it's the thing I like the most? And again, what do I mean by like? But, like, or am I saying, like, this is what I think is the best? Like, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think, is the best, but maybe I like What If more? Maybe I like Falcon and the Winter Soldier more? Because I do like, it's not like it's just like, oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier is the best writing, but I'm not that, loving it. But no, I mean, I also really love it as well, just from like a surface level, everything.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I still think I would say my favorite is Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is a close second, but I would say this looks the best. And I think recency bias is, there is recency bias, but there's also old bias.
Fair.
Not enough people talk about old bias, like, essentially nostalgia bias, but not quite.
Yeah, the hard, like, this was my favorite, so it still has this precedent of, like, I'll keep it up at, like, a 2 or a 3 no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, that was me with Winter Soldier for the longest time. And it's still a really good movie, but I had to admit at some point, it's not in my top 3 anymore, and that's okay.
Same. I think I said that about Ant-Man a lot, too, where I was like, Ant-Man's my favorite, but it's like, is it still my favorite? I haven't rewatched it or, anything. I don't talk about it a ton, whereas I talk about the other ones plenty.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a refresher to make sure. Because I would have also said, for the longest time, like, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite, like, superhero movie. And now I think it's Spider-Man 3. Same. But it's still in that trilogy, even with all the stuff we've seen for the last 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, I would also still agree that I think either Spider-Man 1 or 3 is my favorite. I don't know why I'm like, the 2 is not my favorite, but, like, a lot of times I'll always say 1 is my favorite of something, even even with all the X-Men I've seen, 1 is still, like, one of my favorites, but... anyway, back to the episode we're talking about.
love the concept of the Infinity Crusher. Like, you know, even without having a dedicated episode, I like being able to fill in the gaps of what happened in that world.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, somehow Gamora got to Sakaar, met Tony, who was probably, you know, sad because no one liked him. He, you know, he went to the place for all lost things. Yeah. They teamed up, they beat the shit out of Thanos, they invented a special device that clamps on him and, like, automatically takes all the stones out and destroys them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is also such a crazy... I really thought that it was just going to be, like, a nutcracker, but for Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
they'd have to, like a boss fight, like, get one, put it in, boom, get one, put it in.
Same.
When it started, like, automatically putting them in, it was like, oh shit, this is
I was like, what's happening?
Like, this is not at all what I thought this was gonna be.
Mm-hmm. And it also seems like it needs one stone to work.
Yeah, like, it's powered by a stone.
Yeah, which is a super cool concept. Like, it's powered by, and then I assume it will crush that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also like bringing up that the Infinity Stones are unique in each universe.
Yeah.
They are the Infinity Stones, but they also have unique properties as well. But also, again, you can use them in any universe.
Yeah, like, that's a big, like, you know, like, I'm so used to the comics.
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, for sure, you can't use the stones in another universe. That's, you know, sort of a balancing thing, / like, it is the stones were made in each universe as a, like, you know, it is patterned against this. Like, it is this, what reality means here. Like, reality in Peter Porker's universe, the Amazing Spider-Ham's universe, is different because everything is animals.
Mm-hmm.
So reality is fundamentally different and also more stretchy and weird, which is why they got cartoon logic.
Yeah.
So, like, you just can't do that somewhere else. Whereas, I do like the distinction of, in the MCU universe, maybe, I guess MCU multiverse.
Yeah.
Like, the stones of this multiverse are different.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, because of course, you get to eventually multiverse, like, the multiverse means that everything's connected.
Yeah.
So in this multiverse, there is an, you know, multiverse where none of this happened and it was just Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everything is connected in the multiverse. But it's really, when they say, like, these stones work in the universe, I think the implied thing there is, like, they work in any universe that is close to this one, in which you could conceivably say this is a parallel universe to the MCU. Which the comics are too far away.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think, you know, that when we talk about the MCU having multiverses and all this stuff and different timelines and stuff, it's all the stuff that's very close together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah, if stuff is layered, like universes are layered, it's I think people get that.
Yeah.
We also had Arnim Zola, you know, taking over the body. We have like, how were how was he able to pull the adamantium off of Killmonger in the end there? Like, Killmonger, I was like, oh, he did some thing with the helmet, and that's how he was able to do it. But
what I'm guessing is that, like, we don't see this, which is the weird thing. But it seems like the Ultrons can just do that.
Okay.
So, like, Killmonger used the Ultron head to pull, you know, the adamantium off of that, the vibranium off of the main Ultron, and then Arnim Zola in that body was able to just do it back.
Mm-hmm. I guess that makes sense. Like, they could just do that. I'm not sure how they could do that, but
because I don't think he does that in Age of Ultron.
I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe we're forgetting something. But
yeah, or maybe we see him do it in, like, What If Ultron won?
Yeah,
and I'm just like not remembering that bit.
Maybe
because when he makes his new body, I thought he just kind of, like, reality snapped it on himself.
You would think if all the the head he had was just the head that Eric had was just from one of the tiny robots, the mini Ultrons. So if that could do it, why wouldn't he have done that with like when they're fighting the Ultrons, when they're trying to escape from that, and they're destroying them? Why wouldn't the destroyed ones put their adamantium on, or the new one would take that adamantium and put it onto itself? Like, yeah, you'd think they would do that.
You think they would?
So, I don't know. I thought... and he was also missing for half that fight.
Yeah.
Eric was. So I assumed that Eric was doing some little stuff with the helmet. But yeah. I mean, maybe Arnim Zola also did some stuff with his technology, and technology can do that somehow.
Yeah. Like, I can buy the Killmonger's, like, the only person who could figure it out, because he was, like, friends with Tony for such a long time. Like, if Tony at that point was, you know, even in the Genesis, you know, throwing around ideas about Ultron, I mean, he was already on his bullshit about a suit around the world.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
also, the universe they kill Thanos from that, still on that. Now a galaxy.
I mean, Endgame really tried to do the hard parallel with Tony and Thanos that I just don't really feel it. Mm-hmm. But I do like the What If kind of does that with them. In that, in multiple realities, Thanos is still on his bullshits, still saying, like, listen, you have got to admit, it would make sense. And then in multiple realities, Tony is still constantly on the suit of armor around the world, even when he isn't traumatized by Ultron. Mm-hmm. Like, it is something more concrete, more in the back of his head that he wants to do it.
I've also just never been a fan of the, like, Tony created Ultron sort of thing. Because it's like, he created the body of Ultron, yes. And I get how that is bad in the sense of, like, you create a weapon and then it gets used by the enemy and stuff like that. But, like, it is, you know, at the end of the day, it did come to life via supernatural means and everything like that. And so, like, it's not fully his fault, but everybody acts like that's his fault.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do agree that making the body at all allowed it to happen at all, and, you know, so on and so forth. But yeah. But also, it always gets blamed solely on Tony, when also Bruce was involved as well, and stuff like that. But, and this is coming from someone who hates Tony. I give Tony so much shit, and I also have to defend Tony all the damn time. Like, it is the class, like, the things I dislike Tony about are not the things that the series brings up as the reasons to not like Tony. And all the reasons the series brings up, I defend. And I'm like, no, that's okay, actually. But, yeah, I feel like this Arnim Zola and this Ultron are it's gonna crack, they're gonna break out at some point. This evil Doctor Strange is gonna come back. All the other stuff might be sequestered to What If and stuff, but the evil Doctor Strange gotta come up in something else.
Yeah.
Also, Season 2 of What If gonna do a whole new storyline again, probably.
Yeah.
But what are they gonna do to live up to this? Because this was basically, we're gonna do the MCU again. Like, phase 1 through 3, we're doing it again speedrun style.
And, like, this had the benefit of it being a surprise. Like, in Party Thor, when at the very end we see that Ultron, it is a big, like, well, did Party Thor make this? Like, what the fuck? Like, the fact that there is a storyline is so un-What If.
I mean, and we were still surprised in this, where it's like, all right, you guys all have to come together and kill this guy and so that.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so curious what they'll do for Season 2, because also, like, you can't just... You can't just have it be a serialized thing now, because that sucks. Like, that's not What Ify. Then it's like, well, logically, I have to make a world where fucking Doctor Strange turns into the Thing.
Also, very interesting that, like, his freaking out about, like, what the hell is this? Why did he do all that if he did see all this?
I don't think he did.
So, like, you think Strange is just wrong?
Yeah. I don't think the Watcher literally saw it. I think it was just he big-brains it. You know, like,
what do you mean?
Like a person who reads comic books, he knew what everyone was going to do, not because he literally saw it beforehand, but because he was just like, I know that if I get Killmonger, he's gonna do the big betray, but also he's smart enough that he'll do it. I know that Zola will try to get the stones back. Like, I know that these heroes can actually take down this Ultron, or at least, I have faith that this group can do it.
Yeah.
And we will get to this state where the stones are just out, and then I'll just take that. But I don't think he literally, like, did a Doctor Strange look into the future, or look into another timeline, and see that it happens.
Okay.
Like, I'm saying that specifically because of the ending.
Also, I don't, just for clear, I don't think he looked into a, future or anything like that.
Okay.
He's just someone who always knows all the futures and timelines, like, at all times anyway. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. Like, I'm saying all this in part because of, like, the ending message, in which he is like, I am your biggest fans. Like, I was able to do all this because I've seen all this. I won't just snap your timeline into being okay, because, like, in order for, like, I want the story to still exist. I will put you in a different timeline, which is fundamentally, like, the same thing to you as if I resurrected your timeline.
Yeah.
But, like, that is me interfering, but I will not fix that world, because that world stands as a testament of What If Zombies, or no, like, What If Ultron won.
Yeah, I mean, she was the What If Zombies.
No, she wasn't, right? Was she What If Zombies?
She was from the Zombies, right?
I thought she was What If Ultron won. What If Ultron won was the one with her and Hawkeye, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they go to get Zola.
But no, because she comes in from the zombie universe.
No, you're thinking of Scarlet Witch.
But, okay, then why does she appear when she does?
Because they go to the world of
right,
What If Ultron
right.
won.
they went to that world specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess why not go to that one, because it's already destroyed, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're getting confused with when the zombies come down, and then they bring up that someone's coming with them.
No, I mean, I wasn't. I was just... Okay. She also shows up right after that, so I, in my mind, was like, oh, yeah. Who was left alive at the end of the...
Just her.
No, at the end of the zombies one. It's Scott and... Who the fuck... Scott, Spider-Man, and...
Vision's alive, but he doesn't come with them. It's Scott, Spider-Man, and the Cape, and...
The Cape, of course. Who the fuck else was the other person?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I remember that?
T'Challa, right?
Was it T'Challa? Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, interesting they didn't pull any of those in.
Yeah, I guess because they're not, like, stronger, or / they don't have any special information or experience or anything.
Sure.
Like, they just fought some zombies.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, all the others have some, like, you know, even Party Thor fought some of the Ultrons.
I mean, but even, like, you know, Natasha was instrumental to this, you know, as well.
Yeah, like, Natasha was from the world where, you know, where Ultron started, and she was the one who
had
had
the virus and everything, yeah. I guess that makes sense. I was just thinking, like, her skills, but yeah, it's the virus more so than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Ah...
But yeah,
sorry, I want to just finish my thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah, like the ending speech is Watcher doing the big meta, like, I care about your stories, essentially being the big, like, I'm a comic book reader, and so this shit's real fucked up, but also it needs to happen because the stories are important.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I wanted to, like, defend the big, like, the reason why, like, the reason why, you know, he's still putting his baby foot into the idea of, like, interfering, but this is a hard, like, this is an interfering that makes another, like, it doesn't doesn't overwrite an old story, it makes a new one, or it simply adds to a new one.
Yeah.
It is like, I'm going to put a widow into a world without a widow. That is a benefit to this world. I'm going to leave that world that's already completely fucked as a testament to that story. I'm not Deus Ex Machining that world. Because it'd be a really weird story if it was like, what if, you know, this apocalypse happened and the ending was, but there was a guy and he showed up and he was like, actually, I'm just gonna fix all this.
Yeah. I mean, it is basically what, you know, Natasha says. Like, he is just a guy eating popcorn watching people suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is the comic book thing. Yeah. It is the, like, well, it wouldn't be interesting if Spider-Man could just be happy.
Yeah.
But, like, being an actual person, like if these are real people going through real things, and you are just watching that, and this is not a comic book that you were creating, then that's really fucked up. But I mean, even in comic books, you have the, like, well, in universe, there is, like, a god that is doing this to them because it makes interesting stories. And it is just, your life will always be fucked up because it is entertaining to people. Yeah. And, like, that is the Watcher's whole deal.
Yeah, like, you can moralize about it, but there is no perfect, like, there's no perfect vibe to it because it's always going to be a bit fucked up. Like, I do really vibe with the concept of, like, because heroes suffer in their own worlds, people in our world become better people.
Yeah.
Or, like, just, you know, these are stories and things that can actually change other realities, other multiverses. Like, infinite numbers of people in the multiverse have been saved by reading Spider-Man comics. I think that's so fucking cool. But also, that does tie into the big, well, if Spider-Man comics are real, then there are also an infinite number of Peter Parkers who are suffering constantly.
Yeah. It is the, like, is it for the benefit of the world to just kick one child for infinite energy and then everybody else gets infinite energy? But, like, yeah, I think it is I like this characterization for him. You know, where, like, we are doing, like, I like your stories, I cherish your stories, you know, and if that is a selfish thing, then whatever, but this is the way I'm doing it. And I can put you in this other world as long as my story doesn't change.
Yeah. It has a bit of that, like, fundamentally, the reason why the Watcher gets fucked up, you know, later on, at some point. I mean, when I say that, I mean, like, hurts.
Oh, okay.
Like, people can beat the shit out of him eventually.
Gotcha.
But the reason why we don't usually beat the shit out of the Watcher is because there is that layer of, like, even if he's not doing everything he can to help, he's still better than, you know, a villain.
Yeah.
He still helps sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, the reason in the comics not to get mad at him is because he always says he's never going to break his oath and then constantly breaks his oath for the greater good.
Yeah. And so it's really cool seeing the potential journey of where he's gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, also, the comics do the same thing. Like, he is like, I am a huge fan of the stories that are taking place in 616 specifically. Like, there's also many other universes which I find very cool.
Yeah.
But I am a huge fan of 616. So if anything is going to, like, oh no, Galactus is going to come, then he'd eat the Earth and I get no more stories. So I'm not going to allow this to happen.
Yeah.
And, like, that makes sense. But at the same time, he is the kind of person who constantly tells himself, like, I'm not doing this because if I interfere, then bad things will happen. You know, they brought it up in this as well, of like, you know, a long time ago, his, you know, people helped another race, and then that led to their genocide, and then that's why they're like, okay, no more helping anybody ever again, which is an insane philosophy. It was also like, this was a civilization that had like nothing, and they were like, hey, what about nukes? And then they nuked themselves to death, and they were like, never again.
Never
and it's
again.
like, how about just never nukes again?
Actually, speaking of his civilization, really curious to see in What If Season 2, again, I don't want this to be like the first episode, but I want to see, like, will the Watcher face consequences? Or just, like, will he have to, like, talk about this with someone? Like, because this is gigantic. Like, in the history of this Watcher, never once has he interfered, not even, it seems like, as much as, like, 616 Watcher, who will, but then he says he doesn't. It seems like this one genuinely has not until right now. So, like, what does he do with that?
And, like, what are, you know, are there other Watchers out there? Like, we know, we saw them in the MCU, there was, like, a collection of Watchers that were, like, watching, who knows what. You know, Stan Lee was telling them about Earth and stuff like that, but, like, who knows exactly what was going on there.
But, like, do they have a similar cultural thing, or, like, what is up with them?
Is this even Uatu? Or is this another one?
Could be another one.
Like, does he, you know, like, the original Uatu is, like, being the Watcher and everything because of his father's mistake. Like, his father and his friends were the ones who, like, not his friends, but his father and, honestly, people who hated him were all doing this thing, but the father was the one who pushed for it, which is, like, why, like, it is, like, the sins of the father, sort of thing. Making up for the sins of the father. But yeah, he's a very, very human character, as all these people are. Very human characters. Very flawed. But yeah, that Arnim Zola, cool getting more of him, and especially cool because I'm pretty sure he's going to pop back up in something again. And that's going to be excellent to see Arnim Zola in a fucking, like, Ultron body.
Like, we've kind of set up the, like, the Watcher and, you know, Evil Strange are friends. But now, Strange is watching this battle, you know, inside the Pocket Universe. If the Watcher needs Evil Strange again, he's gonna have to either leave that universe behind, or, like, carry it with him. And that is the immediate, like, if he's not just in his own Pocket Universe watching this thing, those two are in danger of breaking out. Or, you know, someone could, like, fucking hit it with an arrow or something.
Which also means that Doctor Strange has infinite more time to learn infinite more stuff and do infinite shit. But, like, I also really love that this, you know, creates an environment where it's like Killmonger, one of the most loved villains in all the MCU, able to come back. Arnim Zola, dead, able to come back. Like, all these characters who they have killed off, and it's like, the big downfall of the MCU is killing off their characters. We don't get any more of them. Get more of them in this, maybe more of them in the future. That's cool. That's fucking cool. Got more Red Skull, got more, just so many characters that we would otherwise never be able to get again.
And the beauty of multiverse stuff is also, like, the MCU has been very good about not doing the comics thing of, we're going to just resurrect this character. And having a multiverse allows the MCU to really have its cake and eat it too, with, like, being able to completely 100% kill off a character, and then still have that character and that actor appear in, you know, in other stuff. As that character, we can have more of that, and it doesn't invalidate the, you know, the Prime Universe, the Sacred Timeline. That can still be a place where, like, you know, this character truly did die off forever. I think that's really, really cool.
Absolutely. It's constantly, like, they're managing to pull off, like, how would I put it? What is the line from one of the pitch meetings for one of the MCU things of, it's very cool, like, it's very cool that the MCU is now able to write off their mistakes as something that was planned the whole time and is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we talk about it all the time, like, we actually like that.
It is really cool.
It is much better for you to take something that you think, like, even the creators are like, this was a stupid idea, and you can return that around into an actual, like, thing that makes sense and is cooler. I think that was brought up on the Shang-Chi thing with, like, the Mandarin, where it's like, the Mandarin was all over the fucking place, and they really, like, dropped the ball on that, and then they were able to go, no, actually, we planned it the whole time. Which, yeah, I think that's, like, very dope, being able to work their mistakes into cooler shit now.
Yeah.
As well as, like, a completely coincidental, accidental, you know, nobody would have known that Chadwick Boseman was going to die, and then we got so much of him in this, where, like, you know, he's a major character in this, we see so much of him, and then, like, that's so cool to get this at the end, as opposed to, like, what I would have imagined they would have done, which is, like, we're going to do a ton of Tony.
Yeah, like, I really did expect that, like, maybe not Tony, because it seems like RDJ's kind of done,
I guess,
but,
so, yeah.
Like, I definitely
But this is also What If, and there's like, you know, the guy who does the professional Robert Downey Jr. impression for every Iron Man appearance in animation.
Oh yeah, I mean, we had plenty of Tony in this. Just like a side Tony.
Not as much as I would have thought. Actually, very, very little Tony. I mean, in the Killmonger episode, we actually got quite a hell of a lot of that. But yeah, never mind, I kind of forgot about that. But yeah. So yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like, I was expecting it to be way more about, like, the big names, as opposed to the small names, which I am really glad about, because, like, yeah, it elevates them, and it makes them really cool, and, you know, I'm really excited to see a lot of these, you know, characters in the Prime timeline once more. Yeah. And also, yeah, I mean, as you said, so happy to see Chadwick being unbelievably cool in a thing this was 2021. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me going into this that, you know, one of the supporting characters was going to be one of the ex-cons and it's not Lewis, I would have been like, no. I mean, I can't even remember his name now. But I'm super glad we got that. I'm super glad we got the characters that we got. And,
yeah. I mean, also, just putting some respect on Ultron.
Yeah.
I said that in the previous episode, but I want to reiterate on this one.
Seriously, because, yeah, Ultron got the you talk about that all the time.
And yeah, like, just having a really, really cool multiversal threat Ultron.
There was an age.
It
wasn't, well, I mean, still, might have just been like a day.
It might have been a day, but you know what? You're not wrong.
It might have still been a day.
There is no indication that more than a day passed.
Maybe the age is always a day, no matter what. But successful or otherwise, it will last a day.
But it was a really, really cool day. Also, I just want to acknowledge this. I was wrong about the Scarlet Witch Ultron team up. I really thought that was going to happen. I thought we were going to have a real fucked up, like, oh, I'm Vision, but actually I'm Ultron, and I'm Scarlet Witch, but actually I'm a zombie, and we're in love.
Oh, because the Vision inside, I didn't know why they would possibly team up. Now I understand where your logic was going there. Yeah. Yeah, but that like face she made to me was the classic like cartoony like doing the big power blast. It doesn't work. Run-row, and then just like they get blasted. But that face was the biggest like rut-row face.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what else to comment on for this one. Getting, like, T'Challa in this, and then also getting Black Panther, but it's not T'Challa, like, in the same fight, was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that one of our people is just, like, happier Thor. Just, like, more carefree Thor. Actual, like, kingly kind of Thor.
And he is really, really, really strong.
But he's, like, such a slight what-if compared to everybody else. Everybody else is such massively different things, and he's just like, I am the Thor that you see at the very beginning of Thor 1. Such a specific timeline.
Yeah. It truly does do something that a lot of multiverse stuff doesn't want to do, which is, like, here is a real motley crew.
Yeah.
Here's a lot of, like, both the series and this episode. Like, the series is so many varied what-ifs. And this was the big culmination of, like, they're a team, but, you know, this isn't an obvious, like, I handpicked them for how slick and perfect they would all fit together and how they could do, like, a big combo move where they put all their weapons together.
They basically did, though.
They basically did.
I do love that Gamora as well killed Thanos, and then I don't think she took his weapon and armor. She just made a weapon and armor that was like his weapon and armor.
Yeah.
Because it is, both of them are smaller.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find that interesting. As well as like, again...
also...
Yeah, sorry, you go first.
Okay. I just realized, I'm pretty sure, like... Yeah, the Captain Carter we saw in the first episode, I believe, had the, like, in-color... British flag on her chest.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, in the movie The Winter Soldier, when Cap when Cap does the mission on the ship, he, like, paints his shields differently, and he's wearing, like, a more stealth suit. Mm-hmm. I just realized,
it actually is.
She is wearing a stealth suit.
Damn it!
But, like, it's so slightly different.
It's not as just black as his was.
Yeah, like, his was way more... It was also lighting, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
Objectively, it is blue, but because it was all being shot at night and it was very dark and they were trying to make it very realistic and stealthy, it just looks like a black suit.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, like this is way more. They really basically just did the same thing, but it looks so much better.
It does look so much better. And yeah, speaking of Captain Carter and stuff like that, again, this whole season has felt like we're going to speed run phases 1 through 3, and like this fight had so much shit that if I would have known this was coming, would be the kind of things that I would say like, oh, here's the stuff I want in Endgame. Like that's kind of what I like so much of that stuff. Like Nat and Captain Carter both using their shields to like hit back and forth and everything like that.
So good.
I mean, the fact that we have, she's able to lift the hammer as well, like, various shit like that, just like, oh, absolutely fucking love it.
Yeah.
They just really nailed the, like, and because it's so fast, it's not stuff I was thinking about at all, but they managed to nail they did everything I would have wanted if I knew this was coming.
Yeah, it feels so natural.
And, like, we saw the protection spells before, like, in Strange's thing, but seeing them again in this was like, I love the way the protection spells. If there's one thing I want to carry over to the MCU, it's the fucking protection spells.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so fucking dope, and it would make so much sense in a fight and everything like that. And, I love that we got to have such a huge fight before they started taking any damage.
Yeah.
And, like,
Like, it is, in a weird way, a certain, part of the community's criticism for the MCU has been, why doesn't Iron Man just give everyone Iron Man suits from the start? And this is kind of like that, but for magic. It is the, like, why doesn't Doctor Strange just do a quick boop, bibbity bobbity boop, I'm gonna give you all 10 layers protection so you don't just instantly get your head cut off by Thanos.
Yeah.
And this is a cool, like, yeah, he could just do that, or at least this one could do that. Our Doctor Strange might not just know how to protect people.
And here, I re-edited our discussions from all the Phase 1 and 2 movies. We did have that discussion of why isn't everybody getting Iron Man suit of armor. And then I remember us coming to the conclusion that it wouldn't actually help many of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, Hulk doesn't need it. Thor's already got his own armor. Like, it wouldn't help them. If Black Widow would make her useless at doing the Black Widow stuff.
Yeah.
Hawkeye could use it. Hawkeye could use it straight up. Like, he doesn't do a lot of acrobatic stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't do a lot of hyper movement stuff. He just needs to get to a position, and a jetpack would help him get to that position.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not many people that would be, like, better with an Iron Man suit.
Oh, I forgot about that discussion.
Yeah. I feel like as we get further in the MCU, there's actually more people who could use an Iron Man suit of armor. Like Wanda. Give Wanda a suit of armor. There's nothing downside about that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, she doesn't need it.
I mean, she doesn't need it, but it would still be better. Like, that's the thing. Like, most of them don't need it, but why not? And at the end of the day, the answer is Tony is way too selfish to do something like that.
True.
But, like...
That's the big one. Like, if you had to convince him that Clint needed an Iron Man suit, I think he would kill himself.
But yeah, like Rocket, he would not need an Iron Man. I mean, also they meet so late and everything like that, but, like, there's so many characters who just can't use an Iron Man suit to be pointless.
Or, like, Shang-Chi would want one, but I feel like he'd also, like, shoot himself into space.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ant-Man would instantly fuck it up. He can't even use his own suit properly.
He would instantly break.
He would instantly trap himself inside. But yeah, so understand that. But yeah, you were saying that because the protection spells are something that you can just give everybody, and it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
And, like, also, like, we see it on them the whole time, but also we see that you can put a protection spell on them and it just fades away, and then you just know it's on them. Do that if you don't want to fucking CGI the spell on the whole damn time. Or also, just have it be a thing where, like, the protection spell starts with, like, glowing runes, but then as they go into the skin, they turn into, like fake tattoos that you can put on people. And then, you know, you can have those peel off and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's practical ways to do that, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, anything else you want to say about this episode? Just a hell of a fucking finale. Insane.
Absolutely.
Cannot say that enough.
Mm-hmm.
The zombie pylon was insanely cool.
Just the Mjolnir scene is so insanely, like, the Mjolnir's, like, making a sphere around Ultron was so cool.
Mm-hmm. Seeing Thor fight with his, like, science tattoo is so good. Why do you think that Gamora got the tattoos, by the way?
That's a good question.
Also, I'm noticing it in this scene here, but, like, Killmonger's Black Panther outfit has on, like, more of a, is that like a tiger print?
It looks like a leopard print.
Leopard print, yeah, leopard print.
Yeah.
But that's actually cool.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that during the fight at all.
Yeah, I noticed that he had, I guess in the movie he also has, like, you know, his bumps are now raised on the suit itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if he has different epithets.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I didn't notice that particularly in the fight, but it's also, it seems like it only comes up in, like, certain lighting, because it's very, like, it looks all black, but then, like, in certain lighting you can actually see the leopard print. Or what is going on here with this? Like, yeah, it has, like, the raised bumps and everything like that, but no, yeah, like, the leopard print almost looks like it's, like, white patches that are, like, gray that are almost, like, black, so you can barely see it.
Yeah, like, I'm guessing, like, in direct lighting, it would be invisible, but then, like, if the lighting's shining on it just right, you can see the prints.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I like that look. I don't know if he had that in the movie or not, because I don't remember it, but it's also so subtle I might not have noticed it.
Yeah. Yeah, incidentally, like, we did get a couple of, like, endings to some of the what ifs, or, like, you know, like a little bit of extra information, like the fact that Killmonger was losing. Like, he was about to be, you know, attacked by the, like, you know, by the Royal Guard.
Yeah.
They were about to beat his ass when he got saved.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It was not successful. Even the master planner could not go through. But yeah, glad we got more of the little bits like that. There's a fucking interdimensional Chinese food place.
Yeah.
A multi-dimensional Chinese food place. Insane. The Guardians of the Multiverse love their Chinese food.
It is. I guess the Endgame Avengers also got Chinese food. Like, they seem to like everything except for shawarma now.
Yeah, it is crazy we've never gotten a callback for the shawarma.
Yeah.
Like, it's the kind of thing where I would imagine they would do 1,000 callbacks to it all the damn time. But, nope, never got a callback to it.
They didn't like it, I guess.
It's not popular. Yeah. I think that's it. We're just kind of rambling at this point.
Yeah. You want to do some things you might want to see in What If Season 2?
Sure. Do you have anything particular in mind?
Like, the big one is, this was only really phases 1 to 3 stuff.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, you know, What If Season 2 is definitely going to do more, like, there's so many things in Phase 4 already. I think they could do, like, 9 or 10 episodes that are all just, like, one thing from Phase 4 each.
Yeah. I think I would honestly want 8 episodes of original What Ifs, and then the 9th one pulls them all together. But I don't think I would want a 3-part finale again.
Okay.
Because, like, that was so special to experience the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do it as well the second time.
Yeah, because I feel like people are also going to be sitting there waiting and thinking, like, obviously the final episode's going to pull them all together again.
So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I would do, but as the thing that I talk about all the time now, there's truly nothing I can predict that is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
The MCU will always surprise me, better or worse. Most of the times for better, some of the times for worse, but it always will surprise me. So I don't think I'm going to be able to predict how they're going to make this different from Season 1. But what would I want? What would I be interested in? Number 1, Quicksilver.
Oh, yeah.
Quicksilver. I want something with Quicksilver.
Honestly, what if
Quicksilver lived and
Yeah.
Hawkeye died? Or just what if Quicksilver lived? But I think they would probably do a what if, you know, he didn't save Hawkeye.
Yeah. Because I think that would be really cool.
Because then that would also change the whole Mirror situation and Endgame and everything.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, what would have happened there? Who would have went with Natasha?
Because also just like Quicksilver being fast would change so many of the events in terms of like what they could or could not have done.
And it's still just, I hate that he died from fucking a bullet.
Mm-hmm. Just got shot.
Got shot, the speedster.
Speedster not fast as bullets. For a Black Widow one, I would love to see, how do I put this? What if the Red Guardian actually fought Captain America?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, or like, what if the Red Guardian wasn't put in the gulag?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, something like that would be fascinating, yeah.
Because the thing I like about a lot of these...
You said you said mostly phase 1 through 3. We're gonna get, we got like the Red Guardian stuff. Mm-hmm. We got some stuff like that in this, but...
Yeah. But yeah, like the things I like the most about these what if specifically I'm finding are like the big tone shifts. The like, we're gonna do this kind of tone. And so for a character who was mostly a gag character, to do a what if that was like, what if, like, essentially, what if Red Guardian was badass? Okay. We give it a specific, like, you know, he wasn't the
villain. I don't know if I would want that. I wouldn't want what if Red Guardian's badass. I would just want what if Red Guardian wasn't put in a gulag.
Okay.
Because, like, I want the Red Guardian that thinks he's a badass, but is not.
Fair.
But, like, yeah, he wouldn't be the, like, out-of-shape Red Guardian we get in Black Widow. But he also, I don't think, would be, I'm a badass.
Fair.
He's too goofy. But, yeah, like, most of mine are more character-based. Like, I would want something with Quicksilver. That one I had a specific one for. Sure. I would want something with Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. You know, honestly, maybe do the what if someone else was bitten by the radioactive spider?
Honestly, could be cool.
Or just, like, what if Spider-Man was, like, or what if Peter Parker was a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
I think that's such a good title.
But yeah, that one I think is interesting. Mm-hmm. What else would I want? Yeah, because we got like with the Avengers dying, that's what I would want out of an Ant-Man thing. Right. Like, you know, what if Hank Pym became the Yellow Jacket?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's also kind of what that one was. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy with that one. I really, really enjoyed that one. Also, aside from this, like, 3-1 together and everything like that, what was your favorite of the what ifs?
Oh, aside from that, ooh boy.
Like, yeah, aside from the Ultron one. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, mine might be the, you know, what if the Avengers died, / like, what if Hank became the Yellow Jacket. Like, just that, like, I like the Hank stuff specifically, but I also loved, like, the mystery of that episode, what was going on.
I mean, that one has to be my favorite as well, because, as I said in that episode, I love, you know, the putting stuff in order.
Yeah.
Like, putting stuff in order and also shining a light on something that was canonically there, but obviously because of when the movies came out, they would have never said, by the way, Hank Pym, anything.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, that's the same as, yeah, like Natasha having the Red Guardian shield. Mm-hmm. Like, I was thinking of that as being a phase 1 to 3 thing.
Same.
But that is a, like, yeah, of course she would know about the shield, just because that's part of her existence. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, definitely my favorite, just because it is the catnip, it is what I wanted from all of What If, really. Even this stuff, really, really good. Not what I wanted from What If. Yeah. That is what I wanted.
Yeah, same. Like, that's what I wanted, I think that's why my favorite. Mm-hmm. Something that I didn't want, but is easily very close second favorite, almost favorite, is the Star-Lord one. The Star-Lord one or the Thor Party universe. Like, I am such a sucker for what if everything was better? What if everybody was just friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those two are such a close one, but yeah, I think the Avengers dying is...
Avengers dying, and then what if Ultron 1 is right below that? Not even for, like, you know, the tying it all together stuff, but just for, I like Ultron.
Yeah. See, I'm not a huge Ultron fan. Even, like, all the, you know, animated TV shows we watched and stuff like that. Never been a huge fan of Ultron. But, yeah, I think it was absolutely incredible. I can see why you put it that high. And
yeah.
Like, just the concept of Ultron is cool.
I am a sucker for what if character was cool.
I do think that's one of the things you said, like, during episode 1 where we were guessing titles and you were like, what if Ultron was cool? What if there was an Age of Ultron? But, yeah, so I think we're both in agreement which one our favorite was.
I think so.
But yeah, any other characters where you want, like, a what if for? Because, yeah, Spider-Man and Quicksilver are my two big ones. Definitely want that.
Not a lot of characters and even for, like, series, like, there's not a lot of what ifs I'm thinking about for, like, WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, those are things where, like, we need to still see more ripple effects of what happened in the sacred timeline before I can even think about, like, what if then, you know, Wanda stayed in the bubble or something.
Like, yeah, I think also an interesting one might be, like, what if all the captains were on, like, a team together. And I would include Bucky in that as well. Because I'm thinking of, like, everybody who's used the shield.
Yeah.
So I think that might be interesting. Captain Carter, Captain America Steve Rogers, Captain America Sam Wilson, and Captain America Bucky Barnes. Or not even Captain America Bucky Barnes, but, you know. Oh, and then also Red Guardian, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, just all the S.H.I.E.L.D. users on one team together. I wouldn't want to do its own what if, but I would like to see that as a thing.
Yeah. What if Shang-Chi went to Camartage?
Ooh. I like that. What if, like, X was a sorcerer?
Yeah.
Like, what if Hulk was a sorcerer? Like, yeah, something like that would be interesting. Like, yeah, like, what if Bruce Banner, when he was running away on the run, went to Carmitage?
Yeah. Like, that's such an easy, like, you know, I can imagine basically anyone going there and then, like, becoming a sorcerer or, like, even becoming Sorcerer Supreme, depending.
And Hulk Sorcerer Supreme.
You could do an entire series of just what if X character went to Camartage.
Seriously.
Or, like, what if X person got recruited by the Ten Rings.
That one's not as interesting.
It's not as interesting.
The Ten Rings doesn't have, like, a cool fighting style. They have the little shocky things. But yeah, most of mine are again character based as opposed to, like, specific things.
Yeah, I would want to see, like, in Shang-Chi, we were joking about, like, all the various, like, the shadow organizations that have influenced history. I would love to see one, I don't know how I would phrase it, but one where just, like, one of those organizations did something that another one did. Like, I'm such a... Like, in the same way that we kept on seeing Rumlow. Like, Rumlow was super important in S.H.I.E.L.D. I want to see that, but for the villains. I want to see, like, you know, where did they cross paths?
Yeah.
Or, like, what is an instance in the past where, like, the Ten Rings were gonna do a thing, but then they saw S.H.I.E.L.D. was doing it, and they were like, oh, we know you're Hydra, so we're not gonna touch this. But in this what if, instead, the Wenwu was like, no, I'm gonna do this. What if I had the guns that could kill anyone I think of?
Yeah, this... There's just so many possibilities of shit they could do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think...
I also do want to see at least one more world where, a big bad like Thanos is just a chill dude. I don't want that to be the what if.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the Star-Lord one where Thanos was just a member of the good guy Ravagers. I love that aesthetic. I want to see that with someone else, but I can't think of anyone big and bad and scary enough. Like, I think it'd be very funny if we had a, like,
Like Ronin, but I can't imagine that.
Or just like a world where Zemo was, extremely nice and happy because his family didn't die. And he was like, I was 2 days away from donating my entire fortune to orphans, but then my family died, and I was like, okay, no more super soldiers, I'm going in.
Yeah, I don't know who else is, like, big and bad enough other than, like, Loki, which we see,
We did see him. We did see good Loki.
But yeah, I'm out of ideas. Actually, like, what if Scott Lang stayed a criminal?
Ooh.
But, like, with the Ant-Man suit and stuff like that.
I think that'd be cool. Yeah, because I wouldn't want to see more, like, true dark universes, like, like, what if Shang-Chi, stayed an assassin in the Ten Rings? Because that I think is too normy. But I do like the idea of someone like Scott, who is already a weird person, and, like, a pretty good person, but just he could do some more ambitious crimes.
Yeah. I could see, like, you could tie that into, like, Scott is going to steal this stuff, and then, the Vulture was also there. And now they're working with, like, Scott and the ex-cons are working, which I guess are now just the cons.
Just the cons.
Working with the Vulture. Like, that could be an interesting, like, dynamic there.
Honestly, one that I probably should have guessed at the start, what if the Abomination was a core Avenger?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, what if there was an Avengers team that wasn't this Avengers lineup, which we never really... We didn't even get with the dying Avengers. No, like, that was just Cap.
Yeah, it was just the Cap and the other Cap.
Yeah, Cap and Marvel, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, yeah, something of, like, a different Avengers lineup would be interesting. But, again, I think that kind of shows they wouldn't even pull out Abomination anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would have changed making Abomination...
Well, it would have to be specifically at the after the Consultants.
Yeah.
Because they were doing the, that was the change, like, in the What If we got, they were already at the point of, this is our cast of people we want to pull in for the Avengers. Fair. And then it was, like, you know, it was Ross later on doing the big, like, well, actually, what if we put in the Abomination into your big team? That'd be cool, right? And then Tony had to, like, persuade him off of that.
Right.
So that would be a good, like, change point.
Maybe. I'm not sure if it would be interesting enough with just Abomination.
Yeah.
But
what if Coulson didn't die? What if Coulson got revived afterwards?
Boringer universe.
Oh no!
That's it. We're done for this one. Until the next.
What's next?
Next is Eternals.
Okay.
But also, I think, like, what if there was a different director of S.H.I.E.L.D. instead of Fury? That would actually be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not sure who would be an interesting pool and, like, the reasoning for why it would be them.
They could do. What if Peggy was still the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because she was alive that whole time.
She was alive. She was on deathbed. You could do what if Tony was, because like you know, Howard Stark was involved with that stuff. So like if you know he passed it on to his son and stuff like that. Like what if Tony was part of the Avengers? Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Oh, final one.
Yes.
Wanda, daughter of Thanos.
Okay.
Like he's putting together the daughters of Thanos. Comes to Earth, does the big genocide. No, Earth can't defend themselves for obvious reasons. Like, he just arbitrarily chose it this time.
Yeah.
Finds Wanda and is like, all right, you lost people you love. Join me. You'll be a badass.
I could maybe, yeah.
That's my last guess.
Okay. My last guess is what if Captain America took over S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, what if he became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. instead of shutting it down?
Ooh. Last episode we did have what if very briefly what if Cap became president.
Oh yeah,
in the background.
Okay, that's it. We will see you guys for Eternals. Until then, check out the Patreon.
Check out the Patreon.
See it right now, maybe.
Ponder the question: what if you joined the Patreon?
We already made that joke, but let's make it again. I'll see you guys for the Eternals. Already said I'll get the fuck out of here. Damn, this is a long discussion.